empathy can seem a little heavy, can seem a little burdensome to people that have it and haven't learned how to manage it, particularly because people who are empathic are always drawn into service. We are God's helping wing, God's helping army. We come here to serve. Yep?
A question. Is it possible that, versus I'm talking with you, but because we're talking about the third person, then I feel the third person's feeling?
Without a doubt. Yeah, that's definitely how empathy works. So empathy, like a good example is you're watching something on TV, you're watching a news story, and you see something happen to somebody else's kid, but you cry like it's yours, right? Or you hear somebody telling you a sad story, and you sit next to somebody who's having a really bad day. You'll feel it, their feelings, just like it's you. And this is way beyond what, the sort of psychological trait of sympathy. Sympathy, it's like we hear somebody's story and we think, oh, if I was in their shoes, I would feel really sad. This kind of empathy is very different. It's like you feel that feeling like it's your feeling. And it's wonderful. Almost all empaths are meant to be healers. So if you have that gift, you're a healer. You got to find your way to go do that in the world. And everyone will do it in a different way. Yep?
If you have empathy, like someone close to me shared with me that this is making me feel okay, the empathy, they shared that like when they're dreaming, they can feel everything in the dreams.
Yep.
And like normally you just see yourself in the dreams, but you can feel everything in dreams. He says that like sometimes when he's in rooms with like people that have died, he almost like he feels what they felt when he could tell that someone died there because like his heart will like he'll start to not be able to breathe. He can feel like that person had cancer in their stomach. His stomach, that area will hurt.
That's more of a physical empathy. The physical empathy is what we talked about, the kinesthetic part. And ghosts love empathy because they love empaths because they have a difficult time communicating. They lost their brains and their mouths with the body. And all that's really left for them is the ability to transfer thoughts and feelings. That's how they do. So ghosts will often, when I meet one, push their feelings. I felt like this. Ah!
Yeah.
You know?
They can communicate and feel what they are feeling and they try to communicate with them.
Right.
See them.
Yep. Yeah, and that's really normal. Yeah. So, yep. If you can read yourself. That's one of the hardest things to do. And I'll tell you why. It's because as soon as we get emotionally charged or triggered around something, we lose our ability to connect. Do you ever notice how everybody else's problems are really easy to figure out? I'm like, well, your problem's so obvious. All you need to do is X, Y, Z, you'll be all set, Like, and that's because we don't have an emotional connection to it. But if it's, that's why it's also very hard to read for your family. Like I can't read for my kids. I can't tell when they're lying, God help them, but, I can't really read for them very well. The closer I am to somebody, the more my psychic shuts down. So psychics, we all go to each other. You know what I mean? I'll call one of my friends and be like, I can't see this thing, because it's too much about me. Yeah. So what do we do with empathy? How are we doing for time? Okay. If you have that one takes the most. Who here feels like they're empathic? Yeah, see, there's always a lot. That one, I think, takes the most training. If you have that one, you're probably, and the more empathic you are, the more training yourself is going to be important because people that are really, really, really highly empathic, the most empathic people can almost sort of be non-functional in the world because their sensitivity is so profound that just going shopping or going to Walmart or, and there's this sort of catch-22 where they're called into, powerful service work, but they can't, say, you want to work with hospice or you want to be a nurse and work in a hospital. That's a very charged place to go if you're really wide open and empathic. So, you know what I'm saying? Right, so learning how to manage your sensitivity is really, really, really important if you have that particular psychic gift.
What are some tips to manage it?
The tips to manage it, there's two ways that you've got to work it. One of them is learning how to understand your energy field and begin to work with yourself energetically. So learn how to ground yourself, which we all know, we all hear that word a lot, like, well, I'm not very grounded. But learning how to actually do it, and what it means is getting back in your body and getting connected to the ground and learning how to stay inside your body all the time. It's really hard, and it takes a lot of work. So learning how to manage your energy field through grounding, through clearing, through getting rid of energy that you picked up that isn't yours, by replacing lost energy, and by shielding yourself. This is probably the most, feel a change right away if you learn how to do that. And the other way, if you're empathic, that you've got to work it, is work on the psychological aspects, which would be about learning how to set boundaries for yourself in your relationships. Empaths tend to have a really difficult time with that pesky little no word, and learning how to say no, learning how to set boundaries, and learning how to really be present in your relationships in a different way. Those are the two things you got to do. I want to do a little bit of an exercise, have you do a little bit of a guided meditation, just a quick one, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time doing questions. And what I want you guys to do in this guided meditation is to pay attention to what channels the information is coming to you. So I'm going to have you ask some questions or look at some issue that you've got going on in your life. And I don't know what will happen. I don't know what answers you'll get. It doesn't, in a way, matter what the answers are. I just want you to take this opportunity to notice how it's coming to you. Are you hearing it? Are you feeling it? Do you just know it? Do you have it in your body? That's what I want you to pay attention to. All of the above. Some people have all the psychic gifts. God help you. You'll be in my office looking for the off switch. Okay? So just pay attention and really begin to tune into what is your way of being psychic. All right? So that's good. Close your eyes. And if you can, put your feet on the floor, both feet on the floor. If you can, uncross your arms and legs, unless you're sitting on the floor. You can keep your legs crossed. And start with a nice deep breath. And really with that breath, I want you to bring yourself as much into your body as you can. So you can imagine that your consciousness was a mist hovering outside of you. And with each breath, you're going to inhale yourself back inside you. And when we do grounding work, we can anchor ourselves into our bones, particularly our spine. So feel your spine. Feel how your bones keep you upright. Feel the strength of your legs and the sensation of your feet on the floor. And take a deep breath, as deep a breath you can, and see if you can just inhale yourself all the way down into your hips and pelvis. And another one all the way down into your feet and your legs. It's really grounding into your body through your spine. Notice how that feels as you do that. So that's one part of grounding. That's the getting in your body part. And the other part of grounding is being connected to the earth. So take another nice deep inhale breath. And on the exhale, you're going to drop what we call the grounding cord down. And you can imagine that your spine is elongating. Any image that works for you is fine. It could be a taproot of a tree or beams of light. Right down through your chair, through the floor, through all the layers of the building, right to the center of the earth. And when you get down to the center of the earth, you're going to wrap that grounding cord around something like a rock or a crystal. And see how you feel after you do that. You can make that grounding cord as wide as you need it. It doesn't need to be skinny. It can be dinner plate size. It could be trash can size, sewer pipe size. It depends on how much grounding you need right now in this moment. And then I want you to take a nice inhale breath, breathe light into the top of your head, and on your exhale breath, you're going to flush any extra energy you have, you don't need, down that grounding cord. We drop it into the earth knows what to do. The earth just composts it. This is clearing. This is how you probably need this today, being at the expo, especially you empaths. So breathing light in the top of your head, filling yourself up with light, and then dropping extra energy down. Whatever you picked up from other people you don't need, down it goes. Anything you've got inside of you you don't need anymore, that can go too. And then the last part we're going to do with this protective part of the meditation is just, I want you to pay a little bit of attention to the outer edge of your energy field. Find the outer edge of your aura and notice what's going on with it. Is it all stretched out? Is it in close? There may be somebody sitting in yours because you're all sitting close together. And you just want to make that outer edge of your energy field, it's going to be semi-permeable like a cell membrane. It can allow in energy that's supportive to you. Any energy that's good for you can come in. Energy that's not supportive to you stays on the other side. And you're in charge. You get to decide what crosses this part of your energy field. Okay. Now that you're safe, now that you're grounded, now that you're protected, this is when we do psychic work. We don't want to do unprotected psychic work. So think about something in your life that's troubling you. An issue, something you've got going on that you need an answer to. And if you can, formulate that into a question. And then ask it out, ask that question out into the universe. And now just see what comes back. Something's coming. An answer is coming for you. And it may be a vision, a flash of an image. You may be hearing an answer like a voice in your head. You may just know. You may just know with certainty. You may feel it in your body or in your emotions. This is your guidance. This is how it comes. Simple. Right there at your fingertips. Every time you stop and pay attention, this is there for you. So, that was beautiful, guys. Take one more deep breath and just drop any leftover energy you have back down that grounding cord. And begin to bring yourself back into the room. You can wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, feel your body again. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes, and I would really love to hear how that went for anybody, and I'd also love any question you guys might have.